y'all, and good morning. Welcome back to my garden. Well, today is a long awaited day for me because I am finally going to cut back my daffodil foliage. It has a lot of green growth still on it, but we have to keep moving on because we have all of these beautiful plants to put in the ground, and they are starting to suffer being here in these little containers. So this is the Graceful White Gaura by Monrovia, and I planted some of this last year, and I absolutely love it because it looks like little fairies floating in your garden. So I've got to cut back the daffodil foliage so I can get some of these beautiful plants put into the ground. So let's go ahead and get started and start cleaning up some of that daffodil foliage. All right, guys, let's go. Here is where we're going to be working at today. So we're on the front of our house, onto the left side of it. We have a back of limelight hydrangeas. Then we have the pink muhly grass. We have our row of daffodils that we planted last fall. And then we have our super tunia tiara pink. And over there in the distance, we have our starry night hibiscus. So what I want to do is to remove the daffodil foliage in the middle section here. And I want to add in some of this graceful white gaura. Think it is going to be so pretty because it'll be the white with like that pretty movement, and then we'll also, when the limelight start to bloom, they'll have the pretty white blossoms on those as well. So I think it's just going to be a beautiful combination. They are perennials, which is really great, so they'll come back year after year, and it's just going to add a beautiful touch here to this flower bed. You're probably not even going to see it on the camera, but I had to add back in my deer fence because the deer have decided they want to come back and eat everything. So I have my little fishing line put up, so I have to walk over there to the side so I can get over here inside of this flower bed. But it's going to be pretty easy today. I got my kneeling pad. We're just going to have a pair of gloves and a pair of these little Corona snips, which I've been loving. And I'm just going to go through here and clean all of this up, and we'll go on to our next step. So let's do step number 1. The weather has been so nice this past week. We are at the end of May, and we've had this little cold front that has came through, and it has been so nice and very unusual, but I am absolutely loving it. So I thought, man, if you got a big project to do, this is the perfect day to do it in because the weather is just such a gift. So I'm just going to clip these back to the ground. Ideally, you would want these to die back a little bit more and get more yellow. But like I said, we've got to keep going with this project because we do not want that gaura to die in that container. Okay, guys, I got it all. This is 140 daffodils, and they are all cleaned up. That was quite a job, but I am so glad that it is done, and we can get started with our next project. So what I am thinking is to kind of spread this out in between the grasses here. So maybe go like this, and then here. So then we'll have a grass right there. And then we'll go here. And then right here. And one here. Okay, so the one on the end, it is really close to the starry night hibiscus, but I think it'll be okay there. And then we have one here. So in between each grass, and then it kind of lines up where the limelight hydrangea is. So I think we're going to do 5 across the front, and I think that's going to be really, really pretty. So I'm going to be using the Laura Edition Power Planter Auger. She has the longer neck here, and then it has less of the little fluting down here at the bottom, so it makes it a little bit lighter. and this is the 5-inch one. So this will be my first time using it. It does seem a little bit tall for me. I think she said she's 5'5" or 5'4", and I am like 5'1". So I think it is a little bit tall, but I think it's going to work out really good here. So we're just going to dig our little holes here in the ground and get these planted. When you use the power planter auger, you want to have a good stance because it's very powerful. So being in these little containers has really started to make this little plant suffer. There's the bees are already flying around it. But I wanted to go ahead and pick these up when I saw them because I have been looking all over for this white Gaura, and I finally found it. They hadn't had it at Lowe's, and then they finally got it in at Lowe's. I checked at Home Depot, and so I was like, you know what? If I don't know why I just threw that on the ground. I could put that in my bucket. Like, if I don't go ahead and buy this now, then they're probably not going to have it. And I bought some of this last year, and I just love it. So pretty. So on the specs, it is a perennial. It needs full sun, which it'll get here on the south side of our house. Compact mounded foliage and incredible vibrant blooms. Extremely drought and heat tolerant when established. Great choice for containers or rock garden. Woo, the bees. Watering low once established. Mature size 12 to 18 inches and 12 to 18 inches wide. Blooms in the summer. Hardiness down to 0 to -10. And these are by Monrovia. I think they're just really pretty. They look a little scraggly right now, but they've got some good roots on them, and they are going to do beautiful here in our garden. Now, I do plant things a little high in my garden because it stays a little bit wet. So if you have that problem, then you may want to think about that as well. So I do like the power planter auger because it makes the ground nice and fluffy, and I am going to plant it a little high because we are a little wet here. Look how pretty. Can't wait to see this in a couple of weeks. The bees are already all over this. It's so pretty. So we're going to definitely make them happy. So the first time I ever planted a Guara, it was a pink Guara, and it was at one of our rental properties at Bay Lake. And I thought, oh, well, this is going to be great because it said it was like the full sun, which we definitely get there. And it was drought tolerant, which is once established. And so it looked beautiful for a couple of months until all the neighborhood doggies started thinking it would be a good place to use the bathroom on. And so it did end up dying, which made me so sad. But it was beautiful, and I love the pink color too. But I think for this combination in here, I think the white is going to be really pretty. It's going to stand out really good with the pink. So I just posted a video on deer-resistant plants in my garden, and got a lot of good suggestions from you guys in the comments. So if y'all deal with deer in your garden, definitely go and check out that video. We were planting 3 different purple plants that are deer resistant. So you'll have to go and watch the video because there was one that wasn't completely deer resistant. And it kind of surprised me. And even one of my friends said it was deer resistant in her garden. So I don't know. I think our deer are just super hungry around here. I did hit 1 bulb over here. So that's pretty good. Out of 5 holes to only hit 1 bulb. I was trying to go around the little stems. So we've had a lot more flower friends come and join us. So thank you for joining us. Just a little background. I have been living in this property since October of 2022. And we are a military family, so we move around quite a bit. And I retired from dental hygiene in 2020 after 22 years of cleaning teeth. And so I've always loved plants. I grew up on a farm, always gardened, but since doing dental hygiene and being in the military, we haven't been able to garden that much. So I was excited when we bought this property, so at least I could garden for a couple of years before we have to move again. And I know a lot of people think that's so sad. They're like, oh, you'll have to leave all your gardening, your plants. But it's a great learning opportunity. So, you just have to go with what you have if you're in an apartment or in a townhouse or a rental house, whatever you have permissions to do, then just go for it. You're learning along the way, and you're not missing out if you have to move because you've learned along that process. I love posting videos to show you guys what I'm doing in my garden. Hopefully that'll give you inspiration for your garden, or even if you don't have a garden, you can learn and dream and grow. I know when I didn't have a garden, oh, this one looks super bad. I would watch all the gardening shows and I would make notes of things that I wanted to plant one day when I got a garden. And I also did a lot of container gardening. So those are things to think about too. A lot of these, like this one said, it was great for a container, which would be a great thriller. I think it was so pretty. We'll have to see if this one makes it, guys, because that does not look very good on the top. But Lowe's does have a 1-year guarantee on their perennials. And actually, my daughter works there, and she said they're really good about giving you a refund if you have your receipt. So keep up with those plant receipts. I have them in a little file that I keep up with them. Okay. I wanted to show you guys my little deer fence in case you have the same problem. But these are just the little garden stakes that you can get like at Lowe's or Home Depot or just your little home improvement store. And then I have the fishing wire on there. And it's just enough, like at night, to kind of get them confused. And they don't like to get confused or wrapped up in anything. And I've got 3 strands going around there. So I just kind of like at each post did a little wrap around to kind of give it a little bit more tension. I don't like having to use it, but if you stand back, you don't really even see it that much. So that makes it pretty nice. So let me go ahead and show you guys what everything looks like. So we have the one here starting off at our end, and then we got one planted in between. So they're lining up with their limelight hydrangeas. It's going to be so pretty. Can't really see them good right now, but once they get all of their color on them, they'll be super pretty. And I'll go and show you the ones in the back that are already nice and big and full. So we've got a couple of more of these that I want to plant. So I'm thinking about planting one over here in that area. So let's go head over there. So this is my flower bed that the deer decided they wanted to make into a salad bar the other night. So you can see here on the verbena, this is the sparkling amethyst. They had almost eaten off all of their blossoms, and so they're coming back now, which is really unusual because my dad has verbena all over his farm, and they don't mind it at all. And then also I wanted to give you guys a little update. This is our El Nino Chautauqua, and look, it's got its first bloom on it. Look how beautiful, and it does smell so good. My son was out with me the other night, and he was like, oh, it does smell good, Mom. And then we've got our heliotrope, and then our catmint, and then our autumn joycetum. So I think what I want to do is I think I want to add 3 of these over here because I feel like we have one grass, so that'll have a little movement, but I feel like we need a little bit more movement in here. It feels a little bit stiff. So let's go ahead and add some more of the Guara in here to kind of give this a little bit more movement. When the breeze blows, it'll be super pretty. So this is going to be different going in and out of this deer fence. I'm going to have to do some acrobatics to get in and out. Ah, okay. So I want to add one here. in between the catmint and the lavender. And then I think I want to add a couple over here. Maybe add one here. And then maybe we'll add one back here. Looks like the deer kind of stepped on my catmint. Oh goodness, they're a mess. Ugh. So this is a brand new flower bed that me and Savannah just put in January. And woo, the bees. We used the cardboard method. So we laid the cardboard down, put compost on top, and then we started doing our planting. And our El Nino Catalpa was one of our first ones that we planted. And I got that one from Creekside Nursery with Jenny and Jerry over in Dallas, North Carolina. And then we already had our Mugo pines here. And we had a little spruce. And so they're all doing good. And then I thought, well, let me add in some more deer-resistant plants to this area. So we added our lavender and our catmint and heliotrope. So everything has been doing really good. Kind of tight in here. So I'm planting it a little bit high, but then pulling the mulch around it. I hate that this got stepped on. Almost tempted to cut it back and see if it'll reflush. Maybe I should do that. You can cut back catmint after it blooms anyway. But yeah, they stepped on it right here in the middle. Maybe that'll help it. Now I kind of look lopsided. It's all right. The breeze is blowing and you can already see the movement that it's adding. Isn't that pretty? Our grass is moving a little bit over there. That's going to get to be a pretty big sized grass, so that's why I'm leaving some space around it. I feel like we could come in here with some more annuals for a little bit more pop of color. Just like little fairies dancing in the breeze. Here's a close-up of the El Niño Jatapa, one of its little blossoms that fell off. We had rain all day yesterday and lots of wind. So. Isn't that pretty? Such a pretty, delicate flower. Okay, so I have 2 more Guara left, and I wanted to show you guys what it looks like over here. This is the one that was planted last year. Look how pretty. Oh my goodness. So I was thinking it might be pretty, beside my little lime punch, is to have another one. And I've got a space, perfect for that. And then maybe we'll go down through here and put one right here. So we can have like a little trio of them. So I think that would be really super pretty. The power planter makes planting so fast that it's almost dangerous. Because I say that because it's like, oh my goodness, I can get all these plants done in all this little bit of time without much effort. I can just go buy more plants. But we have to restrain ourselves. Coming. Coming. So I was just noticing, I went right beside a tag where I had a Sarah Bernhardt peony, but I'm wondering if it didn't make it. Yep, I don't think it made it, guys. Looks rotten. Oh well. We tried. Okay. It's all planted. It's so little compared to that one, but this is just 1 year's growth, and it stayed evergreen during the winter, which was really nice. So I'm in zone 8. And then we got this little one over here. I might have planted it too close to that phlox, but that phlox has not been doing very well. So it may just end up taking over this area if that phlox doesn't make it, because it has been really, really struggling. Before I let you guys go, I wanted to show you a couple more things. Look how beautiful that is. This is one of our David Austin rose. It's got lots more blooms on it, just ready to burst out. And then down here, this is our other Guara. Look how pretty. And it's just grown in so beautifully beside this ornamental oregano. They're just kind of touching each other, which that would be pretty over there with the phlox too if they do that. So magical. So that's going to do it for our video today. Thank you so much for joining me as we got all of those daffodil foliage cut back and we got our graceful white gauras planted. I think they're going to look absolutely beautiful. I already love them. I know that you'll love them too. So if you're looking for some movement in your garden and you just want to have that little look of fairies, then definitely check out the white gaura. I have loved it so, so much. Well, I hope you have a great day and I hope you have a chance to get in your gardens today. Thanks for gardening with me. Bye, friends.